I'm sure there are many years that you spent visualizing what it might look like. It's obviously pretty different, but take me through, just the meaning of being able to have the kind of game you did today.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's my first semi-finals and it's to be playing my old team, so there's a lot of things about that that's sort of, quite special for me, but I'm just happy that I came out. I said 2 words I wanted was to be assertive and be confident, and I felt like I started like that, and really it's to let this game go now, after enjoy it for a minute, and then, hey, we've got another one coming.
In those final seconds, you went over even before the final buzzer, you're hugging Marine, hugging Sav. Just kind of take me through what that was like for you.
I mean, they're beautiful people. I've got friendships with all of them, and I wish for success for them as well, but I want it more for us. But yeah, no, I mean, for them, I will always be in their corner too.
And DeWanna, for you, I'm just from the point of view of the kind of defense that Beck plays, where you can put her, and you guys have put her over the course of the game.
Don't tell our secret.
What's that?
Don't tell our secret. Just kidding.
But everything from KT, she's guarding Stewie, how much did that open things up for you guys to create the kind of chaos you did today against this offense?
I think that's kind of what Beck's been doing all year. She's a long defender. She's smart. She's a vet, so she knows how to play defense, so you can do that. So yeah, it's an advantage having her on our team, and she can shoot the shit out of the ball, so it's kind of a double whammy. So I think that's something that she's been doing all year, and now it's coming in handy for us. And like she said, the job's not done, but we'll go back and watch video because we had a lot of slippage in this game. We won, it felt good, but we'll go back and rework some things. But it's an honor to have Beck on this team.
For both of you, just talk about the defense and the rebounding. You held them to 63 points. Coach said before the game it had to be a team effort on the boards. The guards had to step up, and it was 7, 7, and 7. It looked like the starting 5. Just how big those two things were, the defense, the rebounding tonight for you?
I mean, massive. I think it's our offense, is like stemmed on our defense. We need to be physical. We need to make sure our presence is known from the get-go. And it felt like even if we made mistakes, which we'll work on, for 40 minutes we'll be in that relentless team. So it is making those switches and making sure that we don't have an easy roll into the ring or whatnot. So for us, it was to really have that physicality and that communication.
Dom?
For either of you, you lost to them 4 times during the regular season. The last time they overcame a 20-point lead. It would be very easy for a team to maybe say, "Oh, we really can't get over this hump." How did you do it today? Was the vibe different? Was the feel different? Did you kind of sense that they were back on their heels maybe a little bit today?
Oh, they're a great team. I don't ever feel like they're on their heels. Like they come to play every single game. That's why they're one of the best teams in the league. However, it's 0-0 when it comes to playoffs. We didn't even think about the regular season. It was, everybody says that. I think every team in the league says it's a new season, and that's what we felt like. It's a new season, but one thing about us, we don't step outside ourselves. Win, lose, or draw, we gotta bring that same, intensity, and I think that's something that we learned throughout the season, and now we just bring it into postseason. So yeah, the regular season doesn't matter, but it's 0-0, so we still feel like it's 0-0. They're an amazing team, so anything can happen.
Alexa? For either of you, it felt like you all really put your foot on the gas in the second half, and we're going to let them come back and make this game close. Either adjustment-wise or mentally, what was just kind of the approach to making sure that you guys came off and were really putting your assertive will at first?
I think a big thing that we always say is it's 40 minutes. We can't have those slippages, especially against a great team like New York. So it's for us, it was constantly staying locked in. And if there are mistakes that happen, is we don't stop playing. We keep battling through. So I think for us to really start that second half as strong as we did was huge, and making them call that first time out is always a big thing too. That's always a focus for us. So yeah, it's good.
We're going to take a question on Zoom. Jordan, go ahead.
Hey Rebecca, so I kind of wanted to just talk to you about your game specifically because you got it going from the moment it started, and obviously you were part of the trade that sent you to Connecticut from New York. So was this kind of a personal game for you coming back to play against your former team?
Nah, there's no hard feelings. There's no hard feelings in this game. I mean, there's always movement every season. For me, it's been a blessing. It's something that I've actually been really grateful being able to play in Connecticut. It's done great things for me playing alongside these caliber athletes, So for me, no, there's nothing personal, but like the personal aspect of wanting to do well and wanting to be successful as a group, yeah.
All right, and my second question is for DeWanna. So obviously you kind of were quiet in the first half, but what did you tell yourself? Because in that second half, you were just on another level. So what was it about that second half that got you going?
Alyssa made me mad. That's the honest truth. Yeah, she kind of made me mad. And when that happens, I kind of got to show her a little something. So that's about it. That's the honest answer. But I'm always going to be aggressive. I don't care if I miss 30 shots. I'm going to keep shooting the ball. And when that one goes in, it makes me feel good. Beck held us down in that first half, so somebody had to turn it on. So when I saw that one go in and then I was there wide open, it was like, all right, it's time to go. But honestly, Alyssa made me mad.
How so?
Nah, because she might do it again and I needed it. I need that second.
Second row to your right.
Early in the first half, JJ had it going. She seemed to be giving you guys trouble. However, in the second half, you guys anchored down. I wanted to know if was it an emphasis going into the second half, and what was the mindset of trying to win the game overall?
JJ is a beast. She's a monster on the boards. She deep steals. She can shoot the three. So, I mean, she's a beast. We played with her before, so we know exactly what she do. And of course, we're a little undersized under there until we get Olivia in the game. But I think we did a good job of, kind of holding it down in the second half, and just trying to keep her off the boards is the main thing. But she still ended up with, I don't even know how many rebounds, 14 I think or something, 11, and that's just JJ. So you do as much as you can to limit her. She was an MVP before, so we're gonna keep battling with her. That's what we got to do. Unfortunately, we lost our big piece in the middle to start the game, so now it's all hands on deck to try to contain her kind of thing.
Last two questions, we're going to do Wensley in the room and then Tarika on the Zoom.
This question is for both you two. One, DeWanna, even though you guys play teams, like New York 4 times a year and everybody else might, the familiar bit, being familiar with those players, like John Quell Jones, you're familiar with her. Rebecca, you're familiar with everybody on the Liberty bench. How much of an advantage does that give you when you guys go against them, especially in the heat of the playoffs like this?
Yeah, and the play calls as well helps a little bit too. So I think it's just that's where you sort of try to use that intelligence IQ as well of knowing what's to come. So then you're being proactive instead of being reactive defensively.
And Tarika?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, great. 2 quick ones for you ladies. First, I'm talking about missing pieces and everyone stepping up. There was a moment in this game where Tiff got into some foul trouble, but big play from Natisha and Olivia Nelson-Ododa. Just kind of talk about, if you can, how their play just have really evolved throughout this postseason, specifically Olivia, and just how aggressive and physical she's becoming.
We hold everybody accountable in their locker room. That's just what it is. I don't care what year you are, I don't care how long you've been in this league, I don't care what type of player, we hold everybody to the same standard. And we don't cut any slack, that's for sure. So I think everybody just playing to their full potential. I don't think it's any surprise. Everybody's on our team for a reason, and the day that we stepped in that training camp, we challenged them. And now I think it's showing a little bit, but we're going to continue to challenge them, and they're going to continue to show up, and that's the only way that we can win. Especially when Tip went down, we had to lock in even more. Somebody else had to step up. And I think that's something that we've been doing all season. We lost Bree Jones at the beginning of the season, and everybody just continued to step up, and that's just our MO.
Last one, follow-up for me, and this is for either of you. We know that going into game 2, you take this momentum and you take it into game 2, but the difference, I think, in playing in a series is adjustments. So just, early look, when you think about what you want to do a bit differently come Tuesday, what are some early things that you think you want to improve on and do just a little bit differently in Tuesday to try to go home 2-0?
We gotta limit. I think Sabrina had a couple open looks that we didn't like, especially on the guard-to-guard stuff. We still got to work on our rebounding. Even though we fought hard, they still got some timely offensive rebounders, and that's just something that we got to keep stressing. But they're gonna make adjustments. We're gonna make adjustments, and I think that's what the playoffs all about. But definitely rebounding and just trying to limit their 3-point shooting, because they're an amazing 3-point shooting team.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
As difficult as possible for a really good offensive team. We came together, we withstood their runs. Offensively, we shared the basketball, and just you know, we're ultra competitive. And at the end of the day, especially in that fourth quarter, we were committed to 5 players boxing out and finishing defensive plays. Got to give kudos to Olivia Nelson-Adota. She came in and just did an outstanding job on the defensive end of the floor, mixing it up, using her size. Beck Allen shot the ball incredibly well while maintaining a tough defensive assignment. I mean, our whole group contributed in a lot of different ways. I'm just really proud of them.
Howard, go ahead.
Steph, congrats on the win. Got a couple for you. One, just it got to 53-48. You guys call a timeout. Your ATO call was for Beck Allen to take a 3. Just take me through the decision to do that and just how much that confidence is part of what she's done for you all season.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we have great confidence in all of our players in knocking down those shots. It might not always be the first option, but it's always a secondary or a third option in every action that we have. I don't remember off the top of my head the particular play, but certainly, the way that Beck shoots the ball, the way that she spaces the floor, the way that Tip and AT and DB can really get downhill and draw multiple defenders. She caught the ball shot ready today, and she needed to for us to be successful.
And just related to her on the defensive side of the ball, 2 early steals seem to really set the tone, but also just how significant is it for what you guys do that you can throw her against everyone from Stewie to Sabrina to Marine, and not have to think twice about it?
It's huge. Beck is, I think I said it all year long, she's an underrated defender. She might not look like she's going to get there, but she finds a way to get there, and she uses her length. She's incredibly athletic. She's able to get the hand on the ball when shots are going up. She's just a long athletic wing, and to have her versatility to be able to defend multiple positions is important, particularly when you're playing a team that can score from all 5 positions. She can guard really anywhere 2 through 5 or 1 through 5 if need be. So I was really proud of her, and we've asked her to step up her defensive effort these last 2 ball games, and she's answered the call.
Thank you.
Doug, go ahead.
Steph, can you just talk about the defense today? I mean, you held them to, I think, a season low of points. Every shot was contested for them for the most part. And then you said before the game the rebounding was key, and you got 7s across the board from 4 of the 5 starters.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing is finishing plays. Defense is our identity. And when we are active, aware, when we anticipate actions, we can be at our best. I felt like we were really proactive. Our communication was at a high level. And when we had our lulls, we responded. Whether it was, in a timeout, adjustments that we wanted to make, or whether it was self-correcting, on the floor. I think our team did a really good job of making sure that we were all on the same page. But the biggest thing is being disruptive. It's, New York is so good on the offensive end, and they have so many actions that they run, and we've got to force them to get out of their rhythm, mess up their timing, even if it's just a half a second. And I felt like we did a pretty good job of that today.
Tom?
Stephanie, after losing to them 4 times in the regular season, last time over the 20 points they overcame, what was the mindset that had to go behind the X's and O's, behind the basketball, in order for you guys to come in here and take this one today?
It's mental toughness. In 2 of those matchups, we were ahead, and when they were able to come back, it was, fouling, leaving open 3-point shooters, breakdowns in coverages, and offensive rebounds in particular. And so we just continued to remind our team that we had to force them to make tough 2s, that we had to finish plays with 5 box outs. We had to be incredibly disciplined, because they make you pay if you're not, and they make you pay for every mistake. And we just kept re-emphasizing the disciplined defense, the defending without fouling, the finishing plays with rebounds, what our emphasis was in tough 2s and not open 3s. They're such an offensive juggernaut that we just had to make things as difficult as possible, and I felt like our team really took ownership of that today.
Alexa?
Stephanie, just when you look at your guards and what they did today, obviously you talked about Beck a little bit, but even Tiffany Hayes, Natisha, what stood out about what they did on both ends, really, and how does good guard play help you guys be your best version of yourselves?
Well, we're going to go as far as our guards take us. We certainly know that AT and DB are going to be the centerpiece of every defensive effort, every defensive scouting report, every scheme. So our guards have to be playmakers and they have to be shot makers, and then they have to be great defenders. And I felt like we took good shots. We made the extra pass when we needed to make the extra pass. We attacked and drew defenders. There were a couple of moments in the second quarter, latter part of the second quarter, where I felt like it was too much one-on-one. The ball wasn't moving, our player movement wasn't great. But when we got back to that, it was big for us. You know, I was glad to see Tiffany Hayes moving a little bit better because she just adds a different dynamic to our team.
I'm going to take a couple questions on Zoom. Jordan, go ahead.
Hi, Coach Stephanie. First, I just want to say congrats on the win. So I just want to ask a little bit about your composure, because understandably, Ms. Tiffany Hayes, she kind of got into some controversial foul calls and stuff. So I just want to talk about what was the composure like, despite a lot of your guys getting into foul trouble?
We just kept emphasizing, we got to control what we can control. We just have to make sure that we stay locked in on the things that we can't control. The officials, you know, we can't control the crowd, we can't control, you know, them making tough shots, but what we can control is locking in and not letting it affect the next play. Making sure that we continue to be at our point of our coverages defensively, making sure that we continue to stay aggressive, you know, offensively, and force them to defend multiple plays and multiple actions. And so it's just, you know, for us as a coaching staff, continue to reinforce that message.
And Mark?
Right.
Sorry.
Win today. You know, kind of like you mentioned with the offense, obviously a lot of what you guys do is running actions and reading things more than running set plays. And like you mentioned, particularly in the second half, it felt like that really clicked. What did you think was big in setting that up for you guys?
Our off-ball movement. You know, we made that point at halftime. What was, you know, we can be really good in the on-ball screen, but it's our off-ball actions that open things up for each other. And so we really made a point to talk about our off-ball movement, our cutting, our screening, you know, being disciplined in that, keeping our space, and then also the pace that we do it with, you know, making sure our cuts are scoring cuts. If you make a scoring cut, you either get a score or you are a vacuum and you open up a shot for somebody else. And so just continuing to emphasize that.
Awesome, thank you.
Taking it back to the room, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. You know, you won Coach of the Year. Your players, today you showed, like multiple games this season, you showed why you're Coach of the Year, especially with the chess game you played today. Outside looking in, a lot of coaches wouldn't have took the chances of putting Allen and Hayes in and taking those chances. But outside, other than outside the locker room, you knew the type of play that they could game, the type of game they could play today. How much of an advantage does it give you when people underestimate? Even though I know you're your harshest critic and you don't listen to outside noise, how much of an advantage does it give you going into the series or any game? Period.
I think every competitor, when you're sort of looked over or just counted out, I mean, every competitor wants to rise to that challenge. It's how you do it, right? It's using it in a positive way. It's using it to motivate and not not to frustrate. It's using it to lock in as opposed to get caught up in distraction. You know, that's been the mindset of this team and this franchise for a long time. This has nothing to do with us or this coaching staff, right? But what I do love about this group is that they're going to compete no matter what. We're going to compete. I felt like we minimized our mistakes today. We corrected quickly. We made adjustments that we needed to make, and we went out and we executed. And that's what it's going to take. It's a long series. I mean, this is one game. We're certainly going to enjoy this for at least another couple of hours, and then we got to turn the page, and we got to get ready because we know they're going to respond.
You spoke a few times already about being disruptive. What are the keys in disrupting Breanna Stewart's rhythm, and how are you so able to effectively limit her paint touches tonight?
Well, again, I mean, Alyssa Thomas, when you think about her defensively and the way that she's able to create havoc, you know, she's a tough matchup for people. So I think first and foremost, you got to give her a ton of credit for her individual defense. I think the second thing is just, you know, we always use our 3 A's: active, aware, and anticipate. When we're active, on the ball, ball pressure, we can get deflections, they can lead to steals, they can disrupt timing, and we have to anticipate the actions. You know, we have to really do a good job of understanding individual tendencies. Where are they going to go to? You know, how do they like to play? Do they like to curl? Do they like to fade? You know, when they're looking at certain pace, what does that mean? And we got to anticipate. You know, and we've got to anticipate and have some awareness of what's going on. And I felt like we had really great awareness of not allowing the same action to hurt us multiple times. And that's what it takes, just being locked in 100% of the time, understanding that they are going to hit tough shots, and they did. And we have to live with those. We have to live with those and be okay with those. And at the end of the day, we got to try to play the percentages.
All right, thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
Thank you.